If I told you that this random kid would not only be worth $498 million today, the titan of his own industry, but that he would also be bald, you'd probably say, Arya, that's not true. Arya, aren't you bald? And you'd be wrong, kind of, because this kid's name is Dana Frederick White, the Don, the King of MMA. On this episode of Learn How They Did It, we boil down decades of Dana's key life experiences into the same time it takes for you to reheat that frozen lasagna in your freezer. We also present the key life decisions that he made to reach his own top of the mountain, and the key life decisions that we can make to reach our own tippity top. So let's get started. Born with ambition in Connecticut on July 28, 1969, to an alcoholic father that would beat him relentlessly, and a loving mother whose main focus was her kids, Dana moved around lots, but they finally settled in the city of lights and sin, Las Vegas, where Dana spent most of his childhood. Just to give you an idea of the type of kid that Dana was, he got kicked out of high school twice, he started college twice and dropped out both times, and he tormented any and all teachers he had in his life. This kid had all the aggression, had all the pent-up energy. As annoying as a horsefly in your tent and as aggressive as a honey badger on cocaine, Dana was lost until arguably the most important moment in any successful person's journey, and in your own life journey as well, his life-changing choice. After meeting and befriending former Golden Gloves champion Peter Welch and falling in love with fighting, Dana made the ultimate decision to direct all of his energy towards the fight business. I want to explain to you what cards did life deal Dana at this point in his time before he made this key life decision. Essentially, what did he have in his life going for him or going against him at that specific cross-section in his life's time? So Dana's cards are the following. He had no real money to start anything. He didn't even have a car. He used a bike to go from place to place. He had no real connections to get him a solid paying job because he kept moving around with his family. No real knowledge on any money-paying skills other than the soft labor that he kind of knew. He had tons of familial trauma from living with an abusive father and from moving around tons, and he had a huge amount of aggressive energy. He was also born with natural ambition, drive, and courage. If you want to learn what your own life cards are, or just to learn more about this concept of your life card, or if this type of content really resonates with you, like and subscribe to the channel because that life card video and many more videos are coming your way very soon. Starting out, Dana was inspired and excited. Finally, he found something that he liked, and he found something where he could direct his energies towards. He was getting ready to strap up his boots and just get ready to conquer the world, until it dawned on him. He didn't know anything about the fight game or business in general. And worse off, his life cards were not in any way, shape, or form good for growth. So now he's back to square one with lost, frustrated, and anxious energy, until he realized he had one hidden life card. After befriending Peter Welch, he offered to work for free for Peter to learn everything there is in boxing management and training, therefore upgrading his deck of life cards with the beginner knowledge of the business of boxing. Instead of going to the strip clubs and falling in love, he pooled all his money together and opted to open up a boxing gym in Boston. Over time, his boxing gym became pretty popular, and he felt that he was finally on his path towards success in the fight business, until this guy, local mobster Whitey Bulger, threatened his life by trying to extort his business for money Dana couldn't afford. Feeling scared and hopeless, Dana fled Boston on a day's notice and moved to Vegas, where he knew no one of value, until he ran into his old high school friend Lorenzo Ferttita at a mutual friend's wedding. They instantly rekindled their relationship because of Ferttita's love of boxing and Dana's newfound experience in boxing. And thanks to Ferttita's deep network in Vegas' entertainment industry, White found himself in a young Mayweather's gym. Working as a promoter and a trainer at Mayweather's gym, Dana got a taste of how a high-octane, prestigious, famous gym operated. He worked there for some time and even created a boxing apparel business by founding Bull and Visor, being worn by Mayweather in his first pro fight, as you can see here. Since Pretty Boy Floyd's gym was very famous, a lot of celebs even showed up there. And Dana was at the top of the world here, rubbing shoulders with celebs, making money in the industry that he loved, and doing business in boxing. But he was not satisfied. It's not easy satisfying a honey badger on cocaine. He felt empty and felt that he has much more to offer in the fight business. He did not want to settle. He's back at being lost, but with new weapons at his disposal. In other words, new life cards this time around. Now, he upgraded his old deck of cards by adding the boxing trainer expert card, medium to large fight gym management, low to medium level connections in the fighting industry and entertainment industry, some business execution skills from his brand creation for Bullenbeiser, from leaving his boxing gym in Southie to moving to Las Vegas on a day's notice. He earned the adaptability life card. Because he chose not to settle, even if he found success, he earned the drive to succeed life card. Let me know in the comment section if you like this new way of thinking in the sense of the life cards. Moving forward. Dana still being unsatisfied, he was in search of something new, and randomly one day went to a UFC event and was blown away by the sport. He knew Ferttita would also be interested and had the cash to help, so they both went to an event and the nearest MMA gym together and instantly knew that they were onto something. They quickly heard the news that the UFC was going bankrupt at that time, and they bought the company for just $2 million in January 2001. Almost immediately there were problems. Regulators hated the sport and were blocking it from being displayed in their states, and TV networks didn't even want to distribute their fights because they thought it was way too violent. They spent all this money, time, and energy just to buy corporate America's version of the Titanic. The sinking ship, but not Leo's movie. It was a good movie. It felt like the whole world was caving in. But what did Dana choose to do? Instead of being a coward and quitting, he flew around the country speaking to regulators. I'd had to literally harass them just to open up their states to allow MMA to be fought. The main region still said no, but this was a start. And hope was slowly oozing back into Dana's life. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and yes, hope is a honey-like substance. But even the sweet gooiness of hope was not enough to save the company, and they were bleeding hard. Real blood, not honey. Not being able to promote in major states and not being able to distribute on major TV networks, Dana and the UFC were again facing the abyss. They were even willing to sell the UFC for $6 million, even after they raised $40 million. The problem seemed unfixable, and hope was just not sticky anymore, and it seemed lost. Until they finally came across Spike TV, a brand new network that had content tailored towards men, but Spike was still hesitant to distribute UFC fights due to violence, and that Spike execs were cowards. We do not like cowards on this channel. Dana came up with a brand new strategy to curtail all the TV blockages by creating a TV reality show called The Ultimate Fighter, which showed fans what it's like to be a fighter behind the scenes. Dana and Lorenzo took a wild leap of faith and tried this new approach by investing an additional $10 million into the TV show. They gave it to Spike execs to essentially distribute the show for free. Almost instantly, the show was a success. This move saved the entire UFC and began the upward spiral of success for Dana's entire life, making him widely known in the entire fight business and making him the key individual in the fastest growing sport in the world, that is MMA. Starting from absolutely nothing and even less than nothing, with pent-up cocaine-infused honey badger energy, Dana turned nothing into a whole lot of something. But let's take a look at his life cards now. He has lots of money, $500 million worth of money to be exact. He is bald, which adds an area of effect buff of extra 33% chance of success and testosterone to those around you. Trust me, I would know. If you like and subscribe to dudes who are bald, you get extra testosterone. He has unlimited connections in the fighting industry, fighting expertise as a trainer, startup founder expertise, business skills, negotiating skills, and most important of all, major confidence in his success-gaining abilities. A true zero to hero story. But how did Dana actually go from zero to hero? And what can you and I take away from his successful journey? The first and most important lesson we can take away from Dana's experience and use in our own life experience is making the ultimate decision in what you want to do. Dana White's entire success story began with him making the decision of making money in the fight business. It doesn't have to be a specific decision. He just wanted to enter the fight business. Very general. The next most important step is taking a look at your life cards and be willing to set your ego aside just to truly understand what position you're starting from. Dana knew what his cards were and was willing to work for free to learn as much as he could to upgrade his life cards. After this step, it's execution. You must execute on the decisions you make and do not wait around. Fortuna favors the bold and success likes speed. fee. Instead of wasting his money, Dana pooled his money together and opened up a boxing gym even when he didn't actually understand everything there is about boxing or business. He executed. The next takeaway is adapt. Dana adapted very quickly, and you must understand how to adapt. Let's say you started your dream job or dream business, and let's say your whitey bulger comes into your life and threatens you with anything. You need to adapt, and maybe you need to get up and go to a whole new location, but still maintain that dream within you. Start different things in the same industry that you want to enter. Dana, while working in the Mayweather gym, created a boxing apparel brand to try to branch into different aspects of the fighting industry and just learn more about the industry. This teaches you more about the space you're trying to fill. You may even get a life card from doing this. Never ever settle after finding success. Even though Dana found tons of success in his early days in the Mayweather gym, he still was hungry enough to not settle. He did not want to settle. He wanted more. Imagine he settled. He would not have known what MMA even is. He would not even put any energy into MMA or anything like that. None of us would know who Dana is, and the UFC would just be a bankrupted old organization. The next key takeaway we can take from Dana White is keep fighting for what you believe in. Dana went through any problem you could imagine for the UFC and for himself too, and yet he still kept fighting and pushing forward. Remember when his regulators were not letting the UFC be promoted in any way, shape, or form? He flew around the entire country, nearly bankrupting his own self, to harass these regulators to help allow them to see that this sport is an art form. And a very interesting lesson we can learn from Dana's experience is when you are faced with a problem, one good strategy you can do is combine big risks with unique strategies to help solve a seemingly immovable problem. Dana and Lorenzo took a huge risk in adding another $10 million into creating the reality TV show for fighters, something that was never done before, and it saved the UFC and Dana White. So what big risk or twist can you include in your life to help solve your own seemingly immovable problem? What are your life cards? What decisions can you make today to help increase your odds of success towards whatever you're working for? So if I made you laugh, yawn, or learn, like this video, subscribe, be part of the channel, raise your testosterone. On our next episode, we take a look at YouTube's very own Patrick Bet David and how we can learn from his journey.